Alright, it's your boy Boomsday back with another how-to video. And today I got something real special on deck. I'm actually building this enclosure for a real good friend of mine, and he don't know I'm building it for him. It's for a Sundown Audio Retro ZV4 18. So it was a sub that we got a while back, had some issues with it, but I mean, he's been over here helping me a bunch and everything. So it's like, well, why not? You know what I mean? Why not take care of somebody that's passionate about the hobby just like I am? So we're gonna build him a real nice enclosure today. So stay tuned, alright? Alright, on this enclosure, it's going in like a 05 Grand Marquise. So we're going to do sub up, port up. We're going to use a 7-inch octo-port. And I'm going to build one. I'll show you how to build one and all that kind of stuff. This is going to be a little different than generally how I've been doing my videos on how to build boxes. I'm going to talk a lot more in this one and tell you why I'm doing things and the reasons and all that stuff. I've had people ask me. So I'll try to go a little bit more in depth with this one. So let's go, man. Alright. Alright, so first step in any enclosure is to start with a base. So I got my floor ready. Next step is get your glue prepared. I use Titebond 2. You can use the Titebond 3. The Gorilla Glue wood glue is pretty good as well. There's a couple different things you can use, but I've always used Titebond 2 for years, so it's always worked for me, had no problems, and it works really good. So after you got your floor base now, we're going to go ahead and attach the back panel, okay? So first thing I'd like to do is take the glue right on the edge, just a bead straight down it. Just like so. It doesn't have to be a lot, you don't have to glop it on or anything like that. And what I like to do is, because wood has pores in it, is to sit there and take the glue and rub it in. So I fill every single one of those pores with glue. That way it should hold a little bit stronger in theory, right? So just kind of rub it in. Smooth it out right there on that edge. And if you do it right, you should have very little glue left on your finger too. See, not much glue, a little bit at the bottom, that's it. All right, and then you take your back plate, you line it up right on that edge there. Now, I will tell you this before you get any further. Make sure you get some clamps or something that you can hold it down while you're trying to screw. It helps tremendously when it comes to attaching the panels together, okay? So if you don't got any clamps or anything, use whatever you can find. If you got a homeboy or something that can hold it and you try your best to glue it, screw it straight, do what you can. But clamps work way better than anything else. So definitely use clamps, okay? And I've had these same clamps for probably about 10-15 years. They've seen better days, but guess what? They still hold. So this is what I've been using. I'm gonna keep on using them until they don't work no more. So I'm gonna go ahead and line up the back edge. And clamp it down. Now, some of this wood does have bows in it, so you may have to kind of walk it down to make it more flush. If you're kind of OCD about it, how I am, about making it even as you can get it, just kind of walk it down. You may have to put more clamps in more places than other places, but you can get it straightened out. And I'll show you what I mean. So I'm gonna spin it around the show, or bring the camera back so you can see what I was talking about. All right, so on this edge, even though it's straight, the wood isn't perfectly straight. So what happens is that it causes it to bow in like that. So what I'm gonna do with my clamps is bring it back flush all the way across, so it'll be nice and even. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do now.
Carson, YNK on the drums, nigga.
Nice and even. All right. Now from here, I like to take the seam and fill it. You can just take your finger or a paper towel or something and just run a bead right there and make sure that bottom part's 100% sealed. It's not necessary, but it's just something I like to do. All right. All right. So after you got your clamps all down, you can either sit here and let the glue dry if you really want to, or if you're in a hurry, you can put screws in. Now, all the screws do is hold the wood together until the glue dries. The glue joint is stronger than the wood itself. A lot of people think you gotta use 1,000,000 screws. You don't. If you look at a lot of boxes I build, I don't use a ton of screws because honestly, they're not really needed. All they do is hold the wood together until the glue dries properly. As long as you clamp it down with enough force, you're good. You'll be good, so. All right, so one screw every about 3 inches or so. Doesn't have to be exactly 3 inches, but roughly about 3 inches or so. All right, after you screw the back panel down, it's time to go ahead and add your side panels, okay? So again, I've already cut everything, so. First side panel. All we're gonna do is butt it up. Same thing like we did the back, just line it up, make sure it's nice and straight or straight enough to your liking. And I always check, make sure everything looks like it's supposed to, and it does. Everything lines up like it should, it does. Go ahead and add our bead of glue. And what we're gonna do, we're basically gonna take the glue and draw an L where we know that piece of wood is gonna be sitting, okay? All right. And just like I told you at the beginning of the video, the reason why I do this is because wood has pores in it. This fills the pores, makes a nice tight seal on both pieces of wood. All right. And I always wipe my access on the bottom piece. That way, get it off my finger. And gotta use as many paper towels that way. So, then, again, just line it up. Get it about as straight as you can get it. And wipe off any excess. And clamp it down. And again, you can sit here and let this dry for about a day or two with the clamps on there, or go ahead and add your screws, okay? Again, for sake of video purposes, and I don't mind screws in some parts visible, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some screws on this thing for you. All right. Again, one screw about every 3 inches or so. All right. Same way I did at the bottom. Smash the glue right into the corners. It creates a seal. That way you don't gotta do no extra like caulk or anything on the inside of the box. It's free caulk basically. Cause once it dries, ain't no air getting through there. Have to do the back. Just like we did on the back plate, time to do the bottom of it. Screw it from the bottom. So you have 2 points of strength on this, all right? And again, a screw every about 3 inches or so. And as you add screws, you can take the clamps off, because that's exactly what the clamp was doing, was squeezing the wood together. The same thing the screw's doing. So as you screw them down, you can take the clamps off and it's fine. It's not gonna hurt it one bit. All right, and now we got a side corner joint, and it's really strong already. Time to move to the other side and do the same exact thing, okay? Alright, let's talk about bracing real quick, okay? So, with any good box, you gotta have bracing. I don't care if you got a small box or a huge wall or something. Bracing is very, very important, okay? You can do bracing in many different ways. You can do skeleton bracing, cross bracing, steel beams, all kind of stuff, right? But as long as it holds the box together and serves its purpose, you're doing great. You're doing well, okay? So like I said, I'm gonna talk about what I'm doing in this box, all right? So first off, I have a vertical brace, all right? It's pretty wide, pretty thick. I actually got this from Home Depot out there, a little trash can. These are great for bracing. I use them all the time. Literally, Home Depot, Lowe's, trash can. Ask them if you can have them. Don't just take them. Ask them if you can have them. But hell yeah. Anyway, so first off, like I said, we got a vertical brace. What it does is it's gonna tie the floor to the baffle, in this case, or the top, all right? So what you do, you mount that just like that. Next, we have a horizontal brace, meaning that we're gonna tie the back to the front, okay? So that basically you'll have it just like that. So you'll have this tied to the floor, this tied to this, and this tied to this. So literally, that's gonna strengthen up the interior of the box a lot, all right? So we'll set that down. Next, since we're not doubling it up on the outside to save space for the client, what we'll do, we're gonna sit there and put strips on the inside. These are the same width as the box, and what they'll do, they're gonna tie the floor back to the wall and stiffen up this as well. And I got this on both sides just like this, all right? Same thing with the back wall here, same exact thing. It's gonna stiffen up this whole back wall right here, basically tying it as well back into this brace, making everything nice and sturdy. And since this isn't here yet, I'm gonna do the same exact thing, so there'll be two more right here with the other back side, all right? Also, these braces around here, they're gonna help with the sub, weight, and all of that good stuff right here, all right? So we're gonna make this real, real strong, real, real nice and sturdy, all right? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. So as far as placement goes, what I do, I take the length of the panel, cut it in half, split the difference right there in the middle. Then we'll attach at the bottom, and then screw in the interior like that, and it'll stiffen this up a good bit, all right? So that's what we're gonna do now. little tip for doing like middle bracing or any kind of bracing, honestly. It's always good to mark and pre-drill. That way you already know where everything's going. I'm sorry, I should have said that when I was putting these down. I had already marked out where everything was going. So all you do, I've already measured it. Again, right in the middle of this thing where the sub's gonna go, where the port's gonna go, split the difference. We got right here. Just mark it out. Right. So now I know I'm gonna put it right back there in that same exact spot, because that's where it goes. I'm gonna go ahead and drill my hole. So that way when I get from underneath it on the bottom, I can put it right in the hole and drill it through. So I don't have to play the guessing game. I'm not gonna miss the wood or nothing like that. I know it's gonna go straight back into the wood. Alright, so there it is. So now I know I'll put my glue there, come back underneath the bottom and screw it in so it'll be nice and tight. Solid, I can pick up the whole box. Just the brace. It ain't even dry yet, so nice and tight. Alright, next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and put on the front plate, alright? So same thing like before, glue goes all the way around the bottom, both sides, smash it in, screws about every 3 inches or so. About every 3 inches or so. And then go flip it upside down, and we're gonna do the bottom. So let's get to it.
Bad again, shit, bad shit again, subscribe, code.
Alright, so now we got the front on, the sides are dried and everything like that. It's time to go ahead and cut the circle. Now, it's just a single 18 sub with an octo-port, so I'm gonna go ahead and get busy. I already know the measurements. So if you have a jig like this, this is obviously the easiest thing to use, but you can also use a jigsaw, or hell, I've seen people use a drill. Just drill a bunch of little holes all around the thing and it fills through and it works. So just whatever you got that can make a circle, I advise you to go ahead and use that to make a circle, all right? All right, let's do it. All right, so next step we're gonna go ahead and build that octoport I was talking about. All right, so I've already got all 8 of my pieces cut. Everything's cut like it's supposed to be. So now I'm gonna show you how to go ahead and assemble it. I will show you all the measurements and everything for cutting it, but every airport's gonna be different depending on space and everything. I can definitely show you. I sell cut sheets, by the way. If you're interested, just holler at me. I'll post a link in the description below how to get in contact with me. But just for building sakes right here, what you're gonna do is take your pieces from your octo, 2 of your pieces at a time is the easiest for me. Some people do the whole thing, wrap it in tape. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna do it 2 at a time. It's easier for me that way. And all you do is line them up. Take some painter's tape or masking tape and go straight down the seam of it. Tape rip. Now after you've paired them into 2s like so, separately, now you're going to take the 2s and put them together as well, okay? So go ahead and put the tape down the seam of these 2, and then we're going to connect them all, okay? Alright, now after you got everything taped up, everything's in there, you can kind of see what's going to happen as you go to slowly start to turn it in. It's going to connect on top of itself. And I mean, honestly, you can honestly almost leave it like that and you see it's already folding onto itself. Now, don't forget, the last seam is going to be this last little piece right here that you haven't taped yet, okay? Look, it's starting to look like something. So after you got everything taped up, all your seams are good to go. Take your glue and go in between your slats right here and glue them, okay? And you can be as liberal as you want to with the glue. Ain't no such thing as being bad or wrong with it. Just put as much glue as you think gonna hold it. Like that.
Bang bang.
Hold that on top of it like that. The other side. Alright. So after you get it all wrapped around, the next step will be just to go ahead and take tape and wrap the whole thing up as tight as you can, okay? And just sit here and wait for it to dry. There it is. Now, let it dry. Alright, now time to attach the baffles. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and do the first layer first. Glue it, screw it, get it all down nice and tight. Then we'll add the top layer, glue it, screw it, get it all done, okay?
Steady on the